Welcome to the Legacy Builders Podcast. I am your host, Mario Gonzalez Jr. If you're looking to build something bigger than yourself, then you're definitely in the right place. Today's guest, we have Mr. Ronnie Hughes. Been a long-time friend of mine. I am excited to have you on the show, sir. From what I understand right now, you're currently in the sales world, which I know very well, and I got burnt out. I always tell folks I lived my life a quarter at a time, right, when I was in that world. And you tried to go the Amazon FBA route. That didn't work so well. We'll talk about that. And I really want to get into your journey and why you're at where you're at and why you want to get into business. So that said, for folks who don't know who you are, why don't you give us a brief background and what you're doing?
Yeah. So as you said, I'm Ronnie Hughes. I'm a Navy veteran, got out, went to the University of Texas, and started my kind of career off at Moody Center, which is a big events venue here in Austin. Did premium sales there, moved up. The company that owned it took over another space in the area, and now I'm the director of partnerships for the crossover.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, thanks for your time. What does a normal week look like for you right now?
Really a lot of prospecting, going out, meeting people face to face. I do a lot of ribbon cuttings. I reach out to a lot of new businesses that are opening up. The focus for the venue that I'm at now is more so local businesses. We want to go after some of the bigger ones, but local businesses is kind of where the bread and butter is for the venue that I'm at now.
Yeah. When did you start feeling the burnout?
Day one. No.
Yeah. Hey, man.
No. Truthfully, I started feeling burnt out probably about 2.5 years into Moody Center. We sold it out the first time. We sold out all the suites, all the premium seats. And it was exciting and a lot of fun. And then a couple opened up and we kind of had to redo it again. And after that second time that we redid it, I was like, okay, I'm over this.
Yeah. So when did the idea, when did you have that first light bulb moment where you're like, okay, it's time for me to start my own thing or own business?
Truthfully, I've been wanting to do it ever since the military. I just never really knew how or had even the want enough. I just knew it was something that I wanted to do. But I would say probably about that time, about 2.5 years into being at Moody Center, I was like, okay, I don't really want to work for anyone anymore. I want to do my own thing and create my own legacy.
Yeah. Okay. Has there been like a moment, I guess, within the Moody Center, a specific moment where you're like, okay, I think I'm just done?
Yeah. Probably about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was when I really started reaching out and looking for something else. Around that time, we also had just sold our first home.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had that cash flow coming in, and we started looking because we had the means at that time. But being in the position I was at Moody Center, I dealt with a lot of really big time entrepreneurs, million and billionaires, really on a daily basis. And I saw what they had and the kind of lifestyle that they were living.
Like, I want me some of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Did you have entrepreneurs in your family?
No one really. Everyone in my family has kind of dabbled in doing something for themselves, but nothing too successful or that they stuck with.
Okay. All right. So before I get into the Amazon FBA stuff, because I think I'm so interested because I wanted to dabble in that before. I wanted to put money into it, but with sales in the sales world, I could have swore you told me at one point that you were possibly getting promoted and that fell through. Walk me through that frustration, because I know it happens to a lot of folks, right? It's like empty promises.
Yeah. No, it was. There was a time at Moody Center where my director was getting let go, and in doing so, they promoted my manager up to director.
Yeah.
And I was senior account executive. I was by far the most qualified to take over that next position. And they kind of told me that it was going to happen without telling me it was going to happen. But then whenever the decision came down, they said, we're not even going to backfill that space. We're going to hire a manager for service, and we're going to leave that sales side wide open. And you'll just report directly to my boss at the time, which his name was Justin.
Yeah.
Which I love Justin. He was an amazing person, always had my back. But it told me that I wasn't going to be moving up. He is not going anywhere. And if they weren't going to, fill in that position, then there was really no place for me to go anymore.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of hit my ceiling there. And that was when I knew it was time.
I think that's so frustrating where you're grinding, you're at the top of your class or, sales team, and then it just feels like you're spinning wheels and there's no opportunity for advancement, right? So we hit a ceiling. So then what are the options? Like, it's either you stick around and settle or you start looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
And in your case, it's right now entrepreneurship business. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of which, walk me through the FBA decision, because I know you had been looking at a lot of different business models.
Yeah, so I wanted to be able to kind of continue to do what I was doing. At that time, I was still at Moody Center, but I just wanted more. And so if I was able to get that more while still being at Moody Center and then grow that until I could leave, that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to find something very hands-off. And so I'm going through a lot of, different franchises and things that we could do. And I saw this FBA and, obviously, online, you see all the advertisements for it. And, they sell the dream. And so I reached out to actually a couple of them.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the first one that reached out to me, we set a meeting and the guy didn't show up.
Red flag.
Yeah, a huge red flag. And so they contacted me again. They said, "We're so sorry, this doesn't happen. Scheduled a second meeting." He doesn't show up again. And so we were like, okay, well, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
The funniest thing, though, the guy's name was Jackson. About 20 minutes after he was supposed to show up for that meeting, I get a call, and this guy says, "Hey, my name is Jack. With FBA something." And I was like, "Hey dude, you missed our meeting." He goes, "We didn't have a meeting." And it turned out this was a completely different company that reached out to me that I had sent in that I wanted more information from, and it was just so happened that one guy's name was Jackson, the other one was Jack. And so we sat down, we chatted. What kind of sold us on that is he brought in the owner and the creator of that FBA business, and they broke down the numbers. They sent us all sorts of spreadsheets that showed their production and what we could expect on a realistic term. And that's what sold us on it to begin with is, the willingness to have that owner and the guy that created this from scratch make time for us. So we went with them. Should I go further into?
Go further, man. Like at what point? So it sounds like when they were talking to you, they pitched you right. They sold the dream, like you said. They mitigated the risk in your mind to where you're like, okay, this looks like a good investment. Okay,
absolutely.
And then at what point were you seeing yellow flags? You're like, oh crap.
The first yellow flag. So we sent them the money. We sent the investment, and so they're say they're gonna start getting going on it, right?
Yeah.
And at about 2 months after they got our investment and everything was good to go on our end, they were still telling us that there were hurdles that they had to overcome. And with an FBA, it shouldn't be that difficult. He has shipments coming in, twice a week with stuff, and they weren't purchasing anything for us or moving with it. So that was our first yellow flag. Red flag was another couple months after that, and still nothing had moved, to the point that I started calling the owner, because he gave me his number, which again, like, really appreciated that. And so I start calling him, and we're talking back and forth. And after, you know, a couple of conversations throughout a week, our business took off. It was kind of impressive. Like, we did about $5,000 worth of sales in 2 days. And I was like, oh, okay, this can work. This is how it should be going, and way better than even what I expected. But the issue was that it didn't continue that way. So after we had that huge couple days, I let off the gas, and I said, okay, they've got it together. They've got it, you know, they got their shit together. I'm sorry, I don't know if this is a cussing podcast. You're good.
Keep it real.
You know, okay, they got their shit together. And so I let off the gas, and then we get, you know, smaller things, incremental, you know, $100 here, there. And it's kind of just moving at a very slow pace. Until eventually it ends up stopping again. And we're getting nothing coming in. And so then I start reaching out to him. Oh yeah, man, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna take care of you. And it never ended up going back to that initial boom that we had. And so it ended up not working out. You know, we invested $40,000, which for some of y'all that might be a lot. For some of y'all it might not be much. But for us at the time, it was a lot of money.
Substantial amount.
And so, you know, we've kind of, you know, put a sour taste in our mouth. And I think the lesson that I learned from that is that you want to have something that you can control, and not kind of put it into that third party, we're going to run and manage and do everything for you as like a company standpoint. Now hiring, you know, managers and things like that, that's different. But what I found out is that his workload was just too big. He had taken on too many clients, and he wasn't able to give the focus that he needed to give to make all of those businesses successful. But I'll say this about him, and I won't name him or his business, but he's been extremely accommodating in this failure. He's, you know, admitted to it. They're working on getting us a refund back on it. So as a person, I do like him, and I think that he's really good at what he does because I've seen the numbers firsthand from him. But he took on more than he could chew. And so that's something that I probably wouldn't do again. But yeah, that's, you know, kind of where my journey was as a, you know, entrepreneur.
How did it feel being locked into that 2-year contract? 2 years is a long time, man.
Yeah, it was a 2-year contract. I felt it sucks because they've basically came back to us and said, we're not going to do anything until that contract is up. Up until recently, that's been their messaging. We're coming up on that 2 years here in February. So, you know, that'll kick in. But the contract that I signed was actually very, you know, buyer friendly, you know, for me. And so I felt confident in knowing that we have a piece of paper that says if they don't produce what they say they're going to produce, we're getting as much as they didn't produce back. So, you know, we should be looking at a pretty good, nice lump here in February.
I think you really have the right mindset though. Is like a lot of people, they'll go through an experience like you did, and then they give up. They're like, I took a risk once, I don't want to take another risk, right? And I love how you said what I learned from this experience rather than throwing your hands up and kind of giving up, right?
So
that's really, really cool. I love that. Like we were talking a little bit before we walked in here into this office, and I was telling you about how my recent deal fell through. So this will be I forget how many failures this is, but basically I was going to buy a grooming business here in Texas. Lender went above, or the broker went above the lender's head, and that caused the lender's boss to go to his boss, and then they put the deal under a microscope. And since I live out of states, They denied it because I don't have a footing here in Texas, right? Even though I had all the contingencies in place, it was like a 2-month process. It had already gotten delayed. So it's not over till it's over. And I had people congratulating me. I'm like, don't do that yet. You're gonna jinx me, right?
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you do your research. Due diligence is huge. Check the numbers, and you went through all of that, and it still came out to where it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I was always interested in going the FBA route. I didn't do that, but instead I did drop shipping, as you know, made a little money in that. But I did try one of those done for you drop shipping, like not mentors, but businesses. So I give them $3,000 and then I pay ad spend. And so they test products. And it's like, tiers, total failure. Like I just lost $3,000, maybe 5. I think I paid 5, So it's you're going to lose money along the way, I guess is the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Are you getting everything back?
I'm getting as much as we didn't get back.
Okay, that's still good.
So it's the difference on what we made and what we invested. And so, probably I think we might have made 10,000, and that's being pretty generous.
Yeah.
So we're expecting at least 30K back.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Any idea what you want to do next?
Something.
I know you're sending me deals all the time.
Yeah,
so,
I do.
Yeah.
No, I want to find something that is obviously profitable, but I'm taking kind of a note from what you do now.
Yeah.
Is find businesses that are already up, already running, and finding a way to get into those because you know that it already works. Most businesses fail in the first 5 years. If you can find a business that's already been operational for 5 years and they're doing well, then that's what I want to find. And so I don't have a particular genre. Probably not food and beverage or anything like that.
It'd be nice to own like a bar one day, just to own it knowing I'm going to break even and not make any money.
Yeah.
Just be cool,
Just walk in.
Or a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
But that's when I'm good. I'm set.
But so no particular genre, but definitely something that's already standing and moving and that I don't have to build from scratch.
Yeah, my criteria is a non-sexy service-based business, has been operational for at least 5 years. It's cash flowing enough to pay back the loan if I don't have enough to pay the loan, right? And then also need to be able to hire an operator, so somebody to manage the business, and then obviously be able to take some money home. But the key for me now is getting a subscription-based business.
Okay.
Right? So with dog training, what I learned is it's great revenue. This year, I'm making $650K, almost $700K in revenue, but there's so much overhead, and I have to chase down every board and train customer. Like I charge them $2,000 versus a business like Poop 901, the pet waste removal business, to where I get paid $15.99 a week, sometimes $20 a week, and you just stack those, and I know it's reoccurring revenue.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really need to kind of consider that too as we start looking at these businesses and fleshing them out. What does generational wealth mean to you?
Something that I can pass on to my kids, and it's not necessarily wealth, even just as money, but something that knowledge and be able to grow my kids up into the business world and entrepreneurial spirit. And I think you can only do that by showing them. So for me, it's about being able to, number one, be there for them. And show them that, hey, dad's around. I'm not always having to work or do stuff, but then have me be a role model for them to be like, I want to be like him. I want to do what he does, and create that wealth of knowledge and just be able to get them in and experience it.
Yeah. Okay. How important is it to have your spouse involved? And make sure that you have the right spouse, right? Because that's an issue that I ran into. Is we had the same goal, but my work ethic was way different than her. and I felt like I was putting 80% of the work all the time. She was doing 20%, and it just didn't feel like a true partnership, right? And so I know your wife is very involved. You look at deals together and all that, but how important, or talk to that aspect?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important that y'all are on the same page, at least.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your wife needs to be 100% in, or your husband needs to be 100% in on what you're doing, as far as like how much they contribute to it. But having that support there and knowing going into it what that looks like. Alex, my wife, she wants to be involved.
Yeah.
She's an entrepreneurial spirit herself. And so that helps a lot. It's awesome because it does kind of give me that second pair of eyes and kind of that support to where if like I get excited about something, she can bring me down, and vice versa. To where it's like, okay, let's look at
Reality
the
check.
other side. Yeah, exactly. So I do love that about having her in my life. But I think as long as you guys know kind of what y'all's rules is going into it, I think that's the most important part.
Yeah. I would recommend to you, just going through my experience, yes, it's important that you and your partner know your roles, right? But you have to understand, not only with your spouse, but with employees in the future, that not everybody's going to have your same work ethic. Not everybody's going to care about the business like you do. So you kind of, I wouldn't say drop the bar, but you have to coach people, So huge takeaway for me.
Yeah.
Especially after hiring and firing so many people and going through just bad eggs, man, it happens. So yeah. A question that I always ask folks, especially with kids, because I know you got two little ones, is balancing work or business and fatherhood, because I know, at least when I was working my corporate 9 to 5, even when I was knee deep in the dog training business, working in it, like it felt like a second job. And sometimes I would have a hard time unplugging and being present with my kids. And I still do from time to time, right? So how do you handle that right now?
It is tough. It's the 9 to 5 wears you out. Just no doubt about it. But I think that kind of goes also back to having a spouse. So for me, I'm a super homebody. I am cool with just being at home, and we do our own things at home. But Alex likes to go out and likes to do things and wants to always be out there. So I think she helps me become a better father because we go out and we do things together. And I think it's just important to make sure that you guys do that. Go out to a meal once a week, somewhere that's kid friendly, and allow them to have fun and just be able to interact and do stuff together. But then take them to like the movies sometimes. Don't be afraid to kind of be that. Be the cool dad or cool mom and do something for them that is unexpected. I think that's really important. It shows a lot for them that like you care and that you're there for them.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Sometimes even sitting at the house watching a movie, I'll have to stop myself from reaching for my phone, and I'll think there's like so sucked into the movie that I'll reach, and then I kid you not, like I'll barely glance at it, and then they're looking at me like, shit, I failed, right? I couldn't even do it for 2 hours, just unplug and be with them. So it's tough, man. But yeah, as long as we're always learning and trying to better ourselves, and that's what matters. What belief about business or ownership do you see differently now than before?
There's a lot more to it. In your mind and the advertisements and everything like that, it all seems very simple. But there's a lot of back of house things that have to get done that are tedious. So I think my view of it is it takes a lot more work than you think it will.
Oh yeah, always. And more money too, depending.
Probably. Yeah, I'll find that out on my next one. But I'll say my hardest one, and it sucked, and especially because of an FBA, the taxes were horrendous because it's, buying and selling in all different places, all different states and counties, and there's different regulations everywhere. And so that part sucked. So that's the other reason I'd probably never do an FBA again is, that was rough.
Yeah. Good old Uncle Sam. And then there's service charges for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like with my dog training business overhead, the biggest expense is salary, so paying employees. And then there's advertising. So advertising, I probably dropped $75,000 a year in advertising, just Google and Facebook ads, or printing up shirts or wrapping trucks or whatever it is. And then there's your cost of goods and then electric and all the other things. So at the end of the day, I think I'm taking home maybe 15% net profit, which isn't horrible, but it could be better.
Yeah.
So again, it's like a lot of people they focus on the vanity metric. So, hey, I'm making $700,000 this year. No, not really. That's not how much I'm taking home or putting in my bank account.
Yeah.
So be mindful of that.
For sure.
Yeah. So for somebody who is like sitting on the fence, right? And they want to start a side hustle or start a business, what would you tell them?
Two things. Number one, look into it, be determined in your research. But the other part is go for it. And some people kind of use those to be, opposites almost, like, oh, you're procrastinating, you're looking at things, but you can do both at the same time. You can be a go-getter and still be diligent. So I say just go. If you listen to any, entrepreneur or, millionaire, billionaire, they'll tell you they failed multiple times before they succeeded.
Fell forward.
Exactly. So you have to get going. You have to get started, whatever it may be. Find something that you want to do or that makes sense to you, and go for it.
What mistake do you hope they don't make?
Mistake. You're gonna make mistakes, and I'm gonna make a lot more along the way. I think just making the mistakes that you can learn from. That's the only thing is make sure you don't make a mistake and don't learn a lesson.
Yeah, you are a very I would say one of your gifts is the gift of gab, right? You can talk to anybody. You can have a conversation with anybody. For somebody like myself, who is not naturally that way, I had to teach myself, right? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just feel kind of comfortable in wanting to learn about people, and chatting with them, and I don't mind letting people get to know me. I'm very proud of myself in a lot of ways.
That's good, man.
And I like to interact with people, as funny as it is, because I actually don't like being around a lot of people a lot. But when I'm around, individuals, it's great to get to know people and understand them. And I just feel comfortable in one-on-one conversations.
Yeah. That was my question too. You already answered it. Is what advice would you give to somebody? You said just be curious. So that's pretty common. What I hear about from folks, especially like going to networking meetings, being out and about. So, how do you stay motivated? Do you have like a way to track your progress? I know for me, it's vision boards. I talk about them all the time, right? My whole wall is full of things. Do you journal anything down? Have you written a letter to yourself 5 years from the future? Or is it just day by day?
I'm very internalized. Like I've never been a note taker. I've never done anything. I keep a lot of stuff in my head. And so I daydream a lot. And while that might be a negative, in some cases, it keeps me motivated because I know what I want to do, and I have visions of where I should be and where I could be, and all these things. So I stay motivated really by my own imagination, that I want to create into a reality.
Yeah. What does your, I guess, Ronnie 5 years from now look like? What's he doing right now?
Ronnie 5 years from now, probably, on a private jet.
Hey man, I tell my kids all the time, dream big. Maybe not 10x Grant Cardone big, but
Yeah.
dream big,
Yeah. I want to be Grant Cardone. No, no. Truthfully, I just freedom.
Yeah.
The ability to, do what I want when I want, and a lot of that I think is going to be based around, my kids. I want to be able to be that family that does go on a vacation in the middle of a school year.
Yeah.
That's just cause. Like, oh, where's Zoe and Julius?
Yeah.
Oh, they're, and I don't know, Italy right now. It's like just doing stuff like that. That's what I envision myself, in 5 years. It's just being free, not having to worry about that 9 to 5, struggle, and being able to work my ass off and still, create for my own.
Yeah. Do you have a number in mind? So how much we talk revenue and then net profit a year. Like, is there a number where once you reach it, you'll be like, okay, I'm good?
To quit my job or to?
No, like Ronnie 5 years from now.
I mean,
or even 2 years from now, right? So for me, my number was and still is I want to make $1 million in revenue. I was hoping to hit that this year, but fell short by $200K. Next year I'll hit it once I acquire the next business, right? And then net profit, $200,000.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to worry about anything, especially post-divorce, right?
Yeah.
From there, it's just cake, and I'm putting in the repetitions right now.
Yeah.
So do you have a number, or you haven't thought that far yet?
I haven't thought that far. I think number one is I want to be able to replace mine and Alex's income. So I think around that $200,000 mark, take home, profit, is probably where we want to be, just to be able to let loose. But you want to be able to do more than where you're at.
Oh, so, yeah, for sure.
5 years from now, 250, 300, and
you're gonna be
still
making
hungry.
way more than that, bro.
Still hungry.
You'll be
Still
making
hungry.
way more than that. Yeah. Because I've started. I'm always. I don't know how often you're on ChatGPT and working through things, but I do it all the time, as most entrepreneurs do. If you're not on ChatGPT, you're missing out on unlocking a superpower, because you can have so many in-depth conversations and explore and research, but so I've started diving into having an umbrella company, right? So Lifetime Legacy Holdings. And then I have all of my business entities under that, cash flowing entities. And then you can start getting into trusts, having a family trust. So like creating all these shields, but not only that, like my money market accounts are earning 5% interest right now. So anytime I have extra cash, it just sits there. Its interest works for itself. And then I want to start cash flowing enough to where I don't need to go to a freaking bank. I become the bank, right?
Yeah.
And so there's so many things you could do to make your money work for itself or work for you. Yeah. It's cool, man. I start looking at that stuff, dude. I know you're looking at businesses right now, first step, but think big, bro.
Oh yeah,
think big.
Well, I sent you a thing about trust the other day.
I know. Oh yeah.
I was so curious because I saw that, but yeah, I'm learning, as I go.
Yeah.
And that trust situation with businesses is piqued my interest. I still don't know much about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was buying into a full life policy.
Putting a life insurance policy into as the trust as the what do you call it? The beneficiary.
Yeah. And so I've gone through that rabbit hole several times. And so the thing with that is those policies, the full life is don't know, you're looking 2, 3, 4 grand a month, which I can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay in for 5, 10, 15 years and build that nest egg, and then you can borrow against it. So that's how the ultra wealthy, become their own banks.
Yeah.
So you see those viral TikTok clips all the time, and you're like, oh crap, I want to do that. But no, you can't.
No, yeah. Again, that's that TikTok, Instagram, those ads that
all
pop
the gurus,
up,
man.
They got
Yeah.
One of them, I was chatting with him back and forth about different things, but a week later after chatting, his Instagram had been deleted, and I was like, I'm glad I never gave this guy anything. But that's always, for me, that's started to become like a yellow flag or even a red flag is those guys on Instagram and TikTok that are telling you how easy it is and go with them and they'll make you millionaires. I don't.
If I ever see that, I'm like, I just
swipe,
follow, or like, I don't want to see things like this anymore. If I hear somebody saying, they struggle and shit happens, be ready for it, then that's what I want to listen to. Mm-hmm. So who are you listening to right now?
Obviously always Grant.
Yeah.
You listen to his books and everything like that, but I don't have anybody in particular. I've kind of set up my algorithm essentially to get all that stuff coming through and knowing that I particularly follow. But I always listen to any billionaire that pops up on my thing, like obviously Grant and oh my God, Mark Cuban. Like I always just try to take little tidbits from them.
Yeah. I listen to like Alex Hormozy, Cody Sanchez, and Ben Kelly is a new one I've been listening to. Ryan Pineda. There's a lot, man. But what I find too is a lot of people they'll listen and not put anything into action, and so they're stuck.
Yeah.
So that's something to be worried about. And then I don't know if you listen to audiobooks.
And that's the only way I get a book.
Yeah, that's the only way. I've tried to buy books probably within the last 5 years. I'll pick it up. I'll get 2 pages in. I'm like, give me the headphones.
Yeah,
listen to audiobook.
I don't retain anything from reading. My mind starts when my imagination kicks in. My mind starts to wander as I'm reading, and I'm like, I don't even know what I just read. Yeah. I read all the words. I just didn't absorb it.
Yeah, right on. Do you have a timeline for your next business venture?
Not particularly.
Yeah.
It's really finding the right one.
That's a good mentality to have. Yeah. A lot of people rush into it.
Yeah. And that's kind of goes back to that, do your due diligence first, but you have to take action to do your due diligence.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of example do you want your kids to remember watching you and Alex build something?
The enjoyment, seeing that, we love it.
Yeah.
I think for them, it's important to see happiness and excitement, in what we're doing. Because if you're not, I think that shows a lot, and I think it kind of rubs off on it.
Yeah.
So the example that I want to show is how much fun it is to build something.
Yeah. Has, and I'm having allergies.
Julia said,
your daughter, like
Zoe.
Oh, Zoe, little Zoe. Yes, dude, it's been forever since I've seen her. Have you seen any like entrepreneurial spark with her yet? Or she's having a light bulb moment?
Yeah. And it's obviously all social media based, but she's like wanted to start her own YouTube page, and she wants to do like makeup and cheerleading in front of the camera and like do tutorials and things like that. So she has already started. We're not doing that yet. We're not letting her create her own YouTube channel yet.
Yeah.
But it's great to see that she does want to do something that isn't the norm.
Yeah. It's cool when you see that switch. Jaden, he recently started doing magic, and so he'll go to parks and post up, and then he'll draw a crowd of kids, and then if there's adults around, sometimes he'll come up with money, dollars, right? So now he wants to do that professionally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Jasper, he draws all the time, and we went to a pet expo, and he was selling pictures of dogs that he drew, and so yeah, like when you start seeing your kids get motivated and like they provide a service or whatever it is and they get money and they're excited, like it's so cool, dude. I can't wait. Yeah, for you to see that with Zoe or Julius.
Julius, he colored on our TV.
Oh no.
So yeah, he's still learning. Can't sell that. But yeah, no. I think they both kind of have it. They're both extremely stubborn. Yeah. Which I think is a key to an entrepreneur.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. I tell every new business owner, entrepreneur is like, you have to be like to solve puzzles, right? Yeah. You don't know how you're going to do it, but you tell yourself, I'm going to freaking do it. Figure it out along the way. Yeah. As long as you do that and you don't give up, then you won't fail. Yeah, you might fail, you might fall, but you get up and fail forward. So yeah.
And I'll add, not necessarily to that, but kind of almost backwards into. You asked about kind of the example that I want to set for my kids, and it's kind of a parallel to that. Is I want them to see it before they learn about. This is how it's supposed to be. Right now they have that imagination. The sky is the limit. They can do anything. They can travel the galaxy, in their minds right now, and letting them see that these things are possible before, they start to get old enough, and if we haven't done it yet and we haven't been anywhere, that's how life is. Being able to break them out of that before they start.
That's good. That's really, really good. I never thought about that. I wouldn't say fortunate, but it was a tough experience doing that dog training business from the house, having dogs there, almost 365 days a year, and having to put so much focus on that, and then raise kids, and then go through the failing marriage, and so for almost 2 years, I felt like I was unplugged. Like I was there, but I wasn't there, But they got to see us transition, from the corporate world to owning our own business. And they got to experience us finding a location finally and getting the business out of the house and hiring employees. And so, yeah, man, it's cool. Once you get there, dude, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait, man. Keep sending me deals. I'm happy to analyze and tell you what's good, what's not good. But, last question or so is, what does retirement mean for you? I know part of that is to take trips whenever you want, right? But
yeah, no, I think that retirement is, I guess, in your mind. If you're doing something that you're passionate about and love doing, which building businesses is going to be it's already a passion, even though I haven't done it yet. I don't think you ever truly retire. But I think on the other side of it, mentally I can retire, as soon as I'm done with that 9 to 5, and I can retire into what I'm passionate about, which is building a legacy.
Yeah. I always tell folks retirement for me is working because I want to, not because I have to. Yeah. Right. What are, for me, I love marketing. I love structuring deals, putting stuff together, more of the back end operations. Is there an aspect of business that you see yourself gearing more towards?
Definitely sales and customer service. Like you said, I have the gift of the gap. But being able to deal with clients incoming and current, I think is probably where I would, really excel at. Yeah. And something that I would probably take on early on in any, business venture.
Yeah. So you wouldn't mind being the face of the business?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I've talked to a few owners though who they become the face of the business, or the business doesn't operate without them. So I was just talking to a guy who built an SEO company, Jason McKenzie, and he's like, dude, everything's going well. And he's like, I had to take a trip, and this particular client didn't want to work with anybody else but me. And he was like, oh crap. He kind of trapped himself, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So think about that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but if the business can't function without you being there, then you you bought yourself a job, or you created a job.
Yeah.
You know? So, but with like systems and processes, and you can build it out. So yeah. But it's a learning experience, man. And you got me in your corner. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. I don't want anybody to relive what I went through. But yeah, man. Any final words, final thoughts to give to the listeners before we wrap up?
I think just kind of going back to what I said at the halfway mark. Just do it. Just start researching. Start getting your feet wet. You don't have to pull the trigger today, tomorrow, but start to learn. Start looking at what businesses are in your area, what you'd be interested in, and figuring out kind of what goes into that. And then there's only one true way to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ronnie. Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. We'll set something else up next time I'm in town, 6 months or a year, whenever we're going through acquisition. I really want to, see where you're at a year from now, and talk about the journey. So a lot of big things to come.
On my private jet.
Yeah. See, now we're not going to have the next episode till you're on your private jet. How's that?
I love it, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks,
y'all.